Phoenix Down Radio is on the air.
Welcome, everybody, to Phoenix Down Radio, episode number 134. I am your host, Santa Claus. Ho, 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 ho. And joining me...
Thanks, I hate it.
You can hear one of our co-hosts. You can't see him because somebody can't find his camera. Huh, Talez?
I mean, I put it away somewhere in like October, the last time I was on a show, and I haven't seen it since.
Well, to be fair, we didn't use the cameras a month ago when we had our last episode. So.
And in fairness, I didn't notice until right now, as you said it.
And we have, he's over there actually. Sarah, what's going on? That good, huh?
I mean, I'm making terrible choices, so relatedly, the McRib is back in all markets for a limited time only.
The McRib is never a terrible choice. Unless the choices are A5 Wagyu and McRib. You get the Wagyu first, and then you get the McRib.
Oh man, I want to take the Wagyu and like form it into the shaped patty McRib style, just to horrify some people.
You can. It happens. People do Wagyu ground beef, and I'm like, you are aware that the purpose of this is that it's well marbled. Why are you grinding it? That makes no sense.
Because reasons, that's why.
Because hipsters.
Wagyu burgers are a thing, aren't they?
They are.
The amount of things that people make burgers out of is really, really strange.
Generally, though, when you're looking at a Wagyu burger, you're looking at ends and trimmings.
Okay.
And that I'm okay with.
Yeah, that's fair.
If somebody were to take a nice chunk of Wagyu ribeye and turn that into hamburger, yeah.
I do remember seeing the thing for a cooking show where they took like a really nice like tuna steak, like really well high quality, whatever, and they ground that up for making tuna burgers.
Well, if it's what you've got, and it was a cooking show, so there's a difference, I guess.
But it was like the super fast, like it's the type of thing where you want to make like sashimi or tuna tartare or whatnot. Like you don't want to grind that up for tuna burgers.
And we're already talking about food, I guess.
Big ass. You've seen those
If
big
that's what you
tomahawk
got-
steaks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
The big ones with the giant bone that look like a tomahawk. I made 3 of those into chili. You want to talk waste of products?
Oh, I'm sad now.
They were
Yeah.
like 5 days old. I had to do something with them, and I'm like, well, I know I'll sell out of chili tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, you need to, it's better to utilize something than have it go to waste, even if it is that, I guess, so.
Suboptimal.
We mapped it out. Each bowl of chili was at cost like $11.
Oh,
How much?
And
were
we
you
sold them
selling
for like 6. I was like, well, that's bad. That's not good.
better than 0.
True.
yeah, or negative.
-3 is still better than like -20.
Yeah. So, how have you guys been over the last month since we were last on?
Awesome.
Keeping busy?
I'm not dead.
Well, okay, so I'm, let's see, as of tomorrow, I will have my, see, the Honda was the 6th car, so the van is the 7th car that I'll own this year.
Okay.
I will have 7 cars in a year. Business is going well. I have a logo design in progress, which is cool.
Sweet.
I am going to be working at 2 different pizza restaurants, same company, and also going back to delivering prescriptions. So I'm going to be driving even more than I already am.
Nice.
Like we're about one apocalypse away from you being the courier.
I mean, I kind of already am.
Yeah.
Tyler's Marvelous
The only thing
is
I mean,
the
I've
delivery
delivered
man.
a child and a cat.
Delivered like help bring it to the world, or like packed it in a like styrofoam container so it doesn't rattle around and carried it off too.
I mean, we were cool. We gave it catnip first, but
I was talking about the baby, but okay.
no, the child was 9 years old or 7 years old, so it was fine.
Okay.
It couldn't
was-
fly unaccompanied, and
it
both
was
parents
just
were
the
military.
passenger,
They
okay.
couldn't
Delivered
leave.
a child has another name. You want another meaning. You understand this, right?
Yes, but do you want to know what's really, really funny?
Oh dear.
Knowing that one of your friends loves language and trolling the crap out of them live on air.
I walked into that. That's a fair cop.
You ran hard,
Headlong.
and I made it happen, and I'm only a little bit sorry. It's good to see you, man. I
You're
haven't
not
talked to you in
sorry at
forever.
all. What are you talking about? So, Sarah, what have you been up to then?
Library stuff. We had our photography. I ran that photography class I did again, and the kids are really, really good at taking photos, and they really get into. Since we do it for the lockdown thing, it's they get to check out equipment, usually iPads, and then they're taking photos and doing basic photo editing and retouching and composition of stuff in there. So they get to show off like their worlds, their the areas around their homes, stuff like that. It gets to be a bit more personal for them,
Okay.
and some of them have really good senses of like aesthetic sense and a sense of proportion and whatnot. We actually get a guest photographer in, one of my fellow librarians who has photography experience. And he said that there were a couple of them that he couldn't think of anything to improve them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
That is pretty
yeah.
sweet.
So that one's always something that makes my day a bit brighter. And then I got like 3 or 4 things to level 80. I'm kind of reaching the I want to get stuff leveled so I can get rid of all the gear I have stockpiled point of things.
Fair.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, let's see. I feel like I'm missing something important, but I can't think of what. I did get Yokai Watch done just in time. Yay for that.
Yay.
Finally cleared Casper Lacus Latore.
I still need to do that.
It's surprisingly fun.
I've heard.
Yeah.
It's just
Good
I haven't
stuff.
had the time or want. I've actually been taking a lot of time off of the game the last month.
Fair.
Yep, me too.
Because it's just burnout is real, and this is a time of year when it's best to focus on oneself if necessary, and I just have not felt like spending more than like an hour or 2 in the game a week, so I haven't.
That's reasonable. I mean, for me, also part of it's just been avoiding dealing with other stuff. My county is going back to full stay-at-home orders. Slightly more stringent than what the state requires, but they're doing it for safety's sake, so we don't run out of ICU beds.
Yeah, our state has closed down all dine-in and bars. So
Yeah, same.
Yeah. My Thanksgiving dinner was over Zoom, and I made spaghetti and meatballs and my special garlic bread.
Granted, I did stop but I worked Thanksgiving, but on the way home I stopped by my sister's and I sat relatively distant apart. I mean, I keep a very small circle.
Right.
And I can say with 100% certainty that I have not had COVID. I gave blood for the second time.
They have you
2
do
weeks
an
ago.
antibody test for that?
The antibody test came back negative.
Nice.
I also did end up taking one of those quick 20-minute swab tests, and that came back negative. So
Yeah, the reliability on those are a little lower, but consistent result, it's probably okay.
yeah, I would say that since I have not had any symptoms since taking that test, I've been feeling fine. And I do have one of the take at home tests that you can buy now, or you actually get for free online. Most states are sponsoring and paying for these. It's interesting. You do them by Zoom.
Huh.
You set up an appointment with somebody within the company, and you get on a Zoom call with them, and they walk you through the process of actually taking the test, verify that you're doing it correctly, getting it all sealed up properly, so there's been no funny business with it, so they can make sure that the results are accurate.
That's actually an interesting use of the telemedicine technology stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So yeah, if you guys have opportunity to do that, you can look that up. A lot of states are sponsoring those, so you can get them for free. If you're concerned that you may have COVID, all of the all of the mailing is free, overnight shipping to and from your home, so it's really nice. But the big news for me, 2 weeks ago, I got a car. I have now doubled the number of vehicles I've owned this year.
I was gonna say, and you posted a couple pictures of it, and I went, "That's a different car," because we've discussed before. You had 3 of basically the same car.
Yes.
But like 2 different brands and 3 different motors, and now you have a full-on different vehicle.
Yes, I have gone from 2005. I purchased a 2002 Sable, and then 2009. I believe, 2010, somewhere in there. No, 2012. I got another Sable because, well, they had one that was similar to mine, so I just picked it up. And
Sable
then,
is a fancy word for black. That's about what I can contribute to this conversation.
and then 2017, I got the white Taurus. And the Taurus is fine. It still runs. It's just, well, I had an opportunity to get a 2013 Escape, and I jumped on it.
If it's something that meets your needs, go for it, man.
Well, my parents upgraded to a different vehicle, and they sold it to me, so
Ah, gotcha.
definitely
That's
helpful.
cool, man. Yeah, I've got. You've owned all American cars, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Like I said, every car I've driven that I've owned has been an American car. Like I said, I learned to drive on a 1979 Ford F100, and an 83 Grand Marquis. Had 1984 Dodge Ram 150. Had a 1989 Buick Regal, a 1990 Cougar, and then the two Sables, Taurus, and now an Escape.
I had an Impala, or I had a Zephyr. I had an Impala. I borrowed a Focus ZX3, and I'm getting a Plymouth Voyager van tomorrow. That's it. It's the only American cars I've ever had. I haven't found one that I like. That I like even remotely as much as anything else I've ever driven, and that includes the crushed 330i and the death trap of a Hyundai Accent.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have nothing wrong with foreign vehicles. I mean, I've eyed Kias because they're pretty decent economical cars. I've looked at Toyotas. I've looked at Nissans. I've looked at I've looked at a number of vehicles. It's just the American cars, at least in my particular area, have been cheaper to insure.
Oh, yeah, I've never actually considered that as a cost ever. Insurance is insurance, and it's a thing that I have. But I also, because I drive too many cars, I don't insure cars anymore. I have operator insurance, so I am insured on every single vehicle that I drive.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
Well, for your
like
job, yes.
To send the chat to it and Subaru. In the same year, her and one of our other friends both purchased new vehicles. The previous person owned a Subaru Outback wagon from the early 90s, and they upgraded to a 11th gen Corolla. Kat went from a 6th gen SR5 Toyota Tacoma into a Subaru Outback. So they both switched brands, but we still the incoming and outgoing didn't change. I've owned 7 Corollas. So I've owned a lot of weird stuff. It also depends on, at the end of the day, what meets your financial and logistical needs.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's what it meets, because at some level, even someone like me, at some level, cars are an appliance. And if it meets your needs, then cool. Awesome. Enjoy your Hyundai Ioniq that you just got that I would never put money on ever. But if you drive 4 times a week on 405 in traffic, then yeah, get your hybrid with all of your bells and whistles that's high enough off the ground that it doesn't hurt your knee. Sure, sounds good to me.
I will say going to a crossover / SUV is going to be very nice to actually have some hauling capability versus always having a car. So
I had a 2013 Corolla, which I upgraded into a 2017 Corolla hatchback. And I swear to God, as a grocery delivery person that delivered for Costco, I had more space inch for inch in the sedan than I did in the hatchback.
Yeah,
so
I will say
watch your visualization because it might surprise you.
I'm more talking about the ability to have large, wide items within. The biggest thing that I've been seeing is trying to carry things within a trunk.
Oh God, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, if you're talking, inch per inch, giggity. Yes.
I was thinking it.
I will say, my Tauruses and Sables had so much room in those. They had huge trunks. You could probably fit 3 bodies in there, type of thing.
Oh yeah.
Is that the standard measurement for this kind of thing? Because I have
Yes.
new concerns.
Yes.
Indeed,
My
it
82
is.
Zephyr was a 6-body trunk, and my Impala was like a 2, which didn't make sense, but it was it. But yeah, Pyrocats actually helped me grab stuff from Home Depot because, fun fact, when you have a 37 kilowatt, 12-inch wheel car, bringing home a 8-foot by 4-foot piece of board is remarkably difficult.
Yes, I mean, that's one of the things. Like I said, if I had had this vehicle when I had brought these desktops home, I probably wouldn't have had them hanging out the back of my vehicle.
Nah.
Whereas this time I had to haul them in the trunk of the car with the seats down and then with bungee straps tying down the lid so it wasn't smashing against the wood.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes you just have to get creative, and other times you just have to look at everything you own and say, when's the last time I read that book? And then maybe you just don't own that thing anymore.
but that's not hauling a 6x3 desktop.
Nah, my folding desk is awesome. I got it from Target for like $40. It's great. I just threw it in the back of it. I think it was the Hyundai. Like it was really tiny.
No, I hear you. But like I said, it's nice to have a vehicle that's modern. The only negative to it is I'm not going to be able to do as much of my own work on it as I had been able to with the Tauruses, Sables, the Fords.
There's a few
cars.
things that have upgraded in the like 2008, 2009 era that just makes it really challenging.
But it's so weird. I'm going from a vehicle that had a 3.1 liter engine to a 1.6 that has probably twice the power and still gets better gas mileage.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
Efficiency and science are absolutely crazy. When I worked for Honda, I was like, are you honestly telling me that your lowest trim car has a 1.5 liter motor with a turbo? And they're like, yeah, go grab keys off the board and drive them. And I'm like, that does not make any sense. The way my brain thinks of forced induction doesn't make sense as to how that vehicle drove. And yet it worked remarkably well.
Yeah, this has a 1.6 with a turbo. So
yeah. Oh, because you have the Escape, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, you have a Eco Boost.
Yes.
It's turbo. It's a low spool turbo is all it is.
Yeah, well, it's still a turbo, but that thing still has a lot of get up and go. I'm impressed with it.
It definitely hits your top end pretty good. Anyway, you will lose me in this rabbit hole, so I'm gonna stop.
Well, like I said, it's just been nice to see.
Are we talking about something else now?
Okay, yes, let's talk about Extra Life.
Speaking of cars as an appliance, Sarah is here.
Sorry, Sarah. I'm excited about my new toy.
Oh, it is absolutely fair that you would be, and I'm just gonna go ahead and run a couple more Defu fights.
Let's just
So
put it
Sarah
this
likes
way.
Priuses confirmed.
Yes, I'm just gonna I just want to put one more thing in there. Like I said, since I bought this from my folks, I ended up spending the entire next day detailing the interior of that car.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
I mean, I did it willingly and non-begrudgingly.
Especially if you get to keep it, right? Like
exactly.
You just get to be like, no, I want to unplug my battery for 20 minutes. I want to take both seats out. I want to put a foam on my carpet and hit it with a brush and a vacuum.
Yeah, I didn't go that deep.
Oh, that's not deep. That's basic for me.
Okay, you want to come over sometime and we can do that?
I bought a shitty drill specifically to use detail brushes with.
Interesting.
Nice.
I just went through.
It's awesome though.
I went through with the shop vac, and I went through with a whole bunch of Lysol wipes, and I mean, like I said, top to bottom, in and out, washed the everything. So.
Oh yeah, I just take the entire interior apart, clean everything, and put it back together again.
Anyway, yeah, we can continue on this for a long time, but let's go ahead and.
Yes, you can. You're already starting.
Let's give an Extra Life update. So as you know, the last episode we had was during our Extra Life live stream. For those of you who tuned in for the podcast and didn't continue on with the stream, after the show, we ended up receiving an additional $355 in donations, putting us at a current total of $950 of our $1,000 goal. So we are very close now.
Dang.
And we have until December 31st. So if possible, help us hit that $1,000 mark. As well as we do have a few other milestones as well. Because if we can beat our record total of $1,025, so if we hit 1,026, I will play Final Fantasy X2 on stream.
That's just like $75 away, people. That's
76.
doable. Okay, like range 75-ish.
Or
Yes.
mail you 1 cent and then Venmo in $75 to be like, we beat it.
Also,
I approve of this level of
we
petty.
do have the $1,500 one where I will sing the opening theme live on stream.
Best part is I know you're not going to practice it, so it's going to be real bad.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
I will do practice. I will practice ahead of time so it's not completely terrible.
Will the practice be begrudging?
Yes, it'll be absolutely begrudging.
Can I throw in that I'm very, very impressed at your adherence to the art form, to where you're going to practice a song that you hate just to make it as good bad as you possibly can.
There's standards
Yeah,
involved.
yes, I do have standards. I have my I am an artiste. Come on.
I have standards,
my-
even if I hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it-
that's about how it works.
exactly.
Seems legit.
Now I want to go ahead and. Well, we've got $76 for Nick Nar.
Nick Nar with the win.
Nick Nar, thank
You're
you
the
so
best,
much.
Nick Nar.
Also, I think that puts him in the lead for the Name the Fish contest, or puts him
Oh,
very close to
God.
it. Okay, so now I will be scheduling a playthrough of Final Fantasy X2 on stream next year. All right, it will not be completed this year. I can guarantee you that much right now. So I will try and schedule that in for
If
early
you buckle
next
down,
year.
you could totally do it.
No, trust me. With everything I got going on right now, I won't have time.
Oh yeah, I'm just fucking with you.
But I do own it on Steam, so it's very easy to jump into. So we'll be taking care of that. So yeah, we'll go through. We'll play through that. We'll start that next in 2021. Thank you, Nick Nar, for your support for the kids. Like I said, it's all for the kids.
Also, I just watched our viewer count spike up super high for a second there. So hello, everybody that just joined us. Welcome to Phoenix Down Radio.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us live here. We do this generally do this every other Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific here at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio. Anyway, I want to continue and thank everybody who's donated to our cause and help us hit 1,026. Starting with Elias Moreno, KO the underachieving Toku Sentai, Nick Nar, the trolling bastard.
We love you, Nick Nar.
Yes.
You get a title now. Good job.
Yep. Eva, Lord Ario, Kupo Mithril, Aurori, Master Shake, Fair Eyes, Sayer, and Travis Cease, as well as a number of anonymous donors as well. So thank you so much for all of your support, helping us to reach a new high water mark for money earned for the Gillette Children's Hospital here in the Twin Cities, Minnesota. So thank you very much for all of your support.
It's not just about trolling Klaus. I mean, a lot of it's about trolling Klaus, but it's not just that.
Yes.
A lot of it is.
So let's see, what does that put us at? We need $474 now.
Yes. Nick Nar, don't. Dude, you can't get devoted to trolling, but don't.
Just throwing it out there.
I'm like looking at my business budget and I'm like, it's counted as nonprofit funds transfer, right?
it's tax deductible.
Yes, but I'm also taking money out of a nonprofit to put into a tax deductible donation. So
Yeah.
my CFO is in the chat. She'll let me know. It's fine.
Yay! So okay, so I'm glad to see you found it now finally.
Yeah, no, I feel stupid. Hi guys, I found my camera. I had tucked it behind the screen that I have my PS4 connected to, and honestly, there's just enough crap on my desk that I didn't notice it.
Okay, no worries. Like I said, we can work on it next time.
Job well done.
So,
Blind.
all right. Anything else you guys wanted to talk about before we jump into bit one of our gaming community news?
I finished all my Skysung tools. That was a thing that I just remembered.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was nice. You get to like organize your supply lines, make sure it all comes together just right. Happiness is assembling a huge mishmash of things such that when you craft them and turn them in, your inventory ends up perfectly clean. No leftovers.
Yeah, that's nice. I'll give you that. All right, let me just take a peek here at the list. Yes, actually, Nick Nar is in the lead. He's at $256 versus Fair Eyes at $250. So,
Fair Eyes, get up. Do this. Don't do that. Oh
yeah,
god.
like I said, that's just for the rights to name Fishy Cam. So, all right. So, since our last episode, and actually most of it happened would have happened since the past 2 weeks. So, we had a live letter, and we have preliminary patch notes for patch 5.4 Final Fantasy XIV, which drops on December 8th, this coming Tuesday. There will be a 24-hour maintenance prior to, so there will be no Final Fantasy XIV for you on Monday. Sorry. It's just another maintenance Monday.
Ooh.
I think I'm closing that night, so that seems good.
So let's go ahead and copy and paste in the preliminary patch notes. Copy.
Also, for anybody who is just joining us, we have a lot of stuff. So this is gonna be a long episode. Grab a soda.
Yes, we'll try and get through the patch notes and stuff as fast as possible because we've got at least an hour's worth of music to discuss as well. So
Yeah, definitely going to want to skim on some of this. So there's some interesting stuff.
Yep. So there's the preliminary patch notes from Square Enix, and we've also are going to be including the summaries of the live letter from Gamer Escape and from Nova Crystallis, two very good sources of Final Fantasy news. So there is the. And yes, Pyro, we do know that Talaz is not on camera right now because I don't think he's got it turned on. So.
Oh, it's not even hooked up,
Yep.
and there's a whole process to it. We're not going to do it today.
Exactly. So it's no big deal. So if you want to follow along
We'll make him pay later.
with some of the notes, we also got a trailer which I have not yet watched.
Ooh, yeah, that's got some interesting stuff in
Yes,
it.
I have heard, and I planned on watching it, but I got sidetracked. So I linked that in the chat, and I'll watch that after
That
this.
happens a lot lately for me as well.
Yes. How could I not have watched it easily? I didn't click on the link and watch it. That's how I didn't watch it.
That's just kind of how things are at this point.
Yes. All right.
So let's see.
So, patch 5.4, Futures Rewritten. Of course, we're getting a new tombstone, sorry. The Tombstones of Revelation.
Yeah, I also want to point out for the thing, the official Twitter made a big deal of the fact that in the picture, Reen and Gaia are holding hands.
Yeah, they are shipping the two of them so hard.
Well,
I mean, they are kind of adorable together. Coffee biscuits and shit.
yes. We are getting new MSQ, and with that, a new dungeon, Matoya's Relict, which will, of course, be trust compatible. They did confirm that they're talking about old Matoya, not Ishtola.
Yeah. The Great Sage, Sarlayan Sage, her collection, her workshop, essentially.
We also have...
It's trust. With trust, that means that we're going to be able to have Grahati along with us, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
New Sorrows of Wirlet, including a new Emerald Weapon trial. So for those of you who want to fight Emerald Weapon, that should be fun.
There's already mass speculation about which Garlean significant figure might have their oversoul data encoded in it. Nothing very clear at this point, so far as I can tell. The new Eden, which I want to say is...
There's a lot of void stuff within that.
Eden's Promise is the name for the third set.
And it looks like Cloud of Darkness will be making a return.
Yeah, the sexy Dissidia version.
Yes. So I'm already started working on my my sexy Cloud of Darkness cosplay.
Stupid sexy cloud of darkness.
Like, a friend of mine for Halloween one year, in protest of everything being sexy, dressed as a sexy fart. And now every time I think sexy cloud of darkness, that's all I think of is Lauren dressed as a sexy fart.
Nice.
Stupid sexy cloud
Also,
of darkness.
I should send you the song from the Mean Girls musical about sexy Halloween costume.
The full Hollows battle is changing to Titan. So bow down, Overdweller.
So many landslides.
It's basically going to be the exact same battle as the extreme version, just everything ramped up. Even the fact that if you fall off, you're dead. You stay dead.
It's okay.
That was
fine with that.
Yep. That was one that people struggled with enough that they stopped doing it as much in later fights. So be ready for that.
Yes, that's going to be interesting. And then they're in patch 5.45, they're going to be adding new quests to the Bojin Southern Front and a new instance called the Delibrum Reginae.
Which I believe translates to something like Queen's Shrine, though again in Latin, which is the usual thing for Garlean naming conventions.
Yep. There's going to be two different modes to this. The normal mode will be required to complete the quest or the quest lines, and that's a 24-player battle with no role requirements needed to enter. And there's also going to be an amped up Savage version, which allows up to 48 players and requires preformed parties to enter.
It's going to be bananas.
So it seems like it might be a little bit of the... What was it?
It'll be like Baldassian's Arsenal kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like a little field thing, but again, this more enclosed space. So not quite the same as the Bojin Southern Front. It'll be interesting to see what they're doing with it.
Yep. Some New Game Plus additions. Shadowbringers Part 3 is going to be added to New Game Plus. All of the Roll and Void quests are going to be replayable in New Game Plus. As well as...
That, in fact... those Void quests are, in fact, something that's also being added in this patch. And that's one that's got a lot of speculation going from the lore mongers.
Yep. And all of the job quests are now replayable in New Game Plus.
There are some of those things. I want to rewatch the cooking ones so much.
I want to rewatch some of the ones that's like, okay, I forgot to do 3 of these. I'm going to do my 40, my 45, and both of my 50 in one shot. Like, I want to go back and redo those again and kind of get the actual details out of it. Because
when I say job quests, I mean battle jobs.
Yeah,
that's fair. Saying. There are a couple points on the Dragoon quests where I lost the thread for a bit, so I'd like to go back and do them all in one straight shot, make sure that I can remember the details throughout. I feel like I'll get a little more out of it.
I'm betting
hilariously the reference I was making was also Dragoon, so that's pretty great. Tells you a lot.
So I know Sarah mentioned he wanted to do like some of the culinarian ones, but those aren't in yet. I just wanted to go back and verify that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
All right. And there will be a new role quest added if you finish all the previous role quests. So that'll be interesting. And it requires completion of the Warring Triad series.
So the first role quest just requires finishing Shadow Walk with me, which was the original combined role quest, and then Reflections in Crystal. So that would be up to the current status of the story. But then yes, the other one. It's interesting. It requires not just the Warring Triad, but did you say specifically the Warring Triad Extreme quests?
No, I know you had mentioned that in the pre-show, so yes.
Yeah, it is specifically the extreme versions of the Warring Triad ones that need to be done. Which story-wise, there doesn't seem to be a lot of reason why that would be necessary. So our best guess is that it's a little bit more mechanics type thing. That one of the NPCs associated with those, they basically don't want to have anything locking to them to their current location. Much like you may remember Urianger needing to exist in a couple different spots at once so that he could keep giving you those Binding Coil of Bahamut quests.
Yep.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. So I'm glad they're going through and fixing that.
Yeah. And because of that, that also means we have a little bit of an idea of what might be involved with this, which given that it's tying into the Void, the 13th, and some of the stuff peripherally connected with that. And I am absolutely happy to discuss this in more details. I just don't want to turn this too far into a let's dive down the lore hole with Sarah.
That's what she said.
Anyway.
I am overthinking what the lore hole might be.
Oh my.
Anyway,
Some triple triad changes. Normally I wouldn't go over these, but I found some of these things actually kind of interesting. And
yeah, it's a pretty large scale revamp.
they're adding a draft rule.
I'm freaking stoked for this.
Yeah, I figured as somebody who plays real life TCGs, Talas, you'd enjoy this.
So this was actually a really, really good change for Triple Triad, which I'm going to take over because I freaking love this game.
Okay.
So the way drafting works in a standard game is that you'll open a pack of like 11 or 15 cards or whatever, pick one, pass to the left until the pack is gone. And then, so the pack you get from your right only has 14, then 13, then 12. So that
And
you
this
switch
also means that means that some of your picking may not just be about what you want, but about what you might want to deny to other people.
Correct. Spite drafting is also a very big thing. There's also you switch directions so that you don't just constantly figure out what everybody's doing, but eventually you know what everyone's up to. For digital card games, Shadowverse was the one I was the most familiar with. Drafting would take freaking forever. So instead of doing that, what they did is they gave you 4 cards, 2 sets of 2, and you had to pick which 2 went in your deck. You made 25 picks. That was your 50 card deck, and off you went. Were they ideal? No. Were they functional? Mostly. Triple Triad is kind of doing a little bit of both, where we have a limit of only having 1 4 or 5-star card in your deck. So there's 2 options. You pick 4-star card or 5-star card, whichever one looks better to you. It gives you 2 choices. And then it gives you 2 sets of 2, kind of like how Shadowverse did. And you have to pick option A or B, option A or B, option A or B. And then those 5 cards are your draft deck that you are stuck with for the entire tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. Looking at the sample they provide, it looks like a draft deck will have a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star card.
Which makes sense to try to get people who, like, let's say you just started playing Triple Triad, you have the default half a dozen cards or whatever. Now we're going to get an opportunity to say, hey, here's a bunch of cards that you may never get or you won't get for a long time, but you get to play them and it sparks that interest. So you get to play drafting. And in normal draft, one of the unfortunate problems is that if you get at the end of the tournament, you get to keep everything you drafted. So what happens is people that don't have cards will start drafting things that they need for their main decks or they need outside of this tournament. And it kind of throws off the balance of how everything is played, makes it very challenging. By having a draft situation where everything is sealed and everything goes back into the pool at the end, rare drafting, spite drafting, collection drafting, none of that is super helpful. So you're actually served better by drafting for your deck for just this instance and just this tournament and just these games. So by not being able to keep the 5 cards you draft, it's going to make people a little bit more sharp on the, okay, what's best? Not what do I want for later?
Yeah. Makes sense. And it's cool because this draft rule was created for new tournaments that are being added as well. 2 new tournament types, open and individual. Invitational, sorry. I don't know I don't know what I'm reading. I don't even know what I said.
Open tourneys are going to have prizes, and invitational, yeah, you got me doing it, are the same, but they don't have rewards. So I'm guessing it's one of those like, hey man, let's practice doing a draft. Let's see what cards show up. Let's the 4 of us play for an hour and see what we can get. So that way you can invite people that you actually know rather than just random NPC on primals or whatever.
Yeah. It's a quick tournament format rather than the needing to take a full week, play these huge numbers. So it's something that's a little more accessible for someone who doesn't necessarily want to go deep into the tournament structure.
Plus,
for sure.
I can also see free companies or just groups of friends putting on one of these for their own.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely. And I would play the crap out of that. Like, that sounds awesome. One of the beautiful things in draft is a lot of places will do a pod of 8 players and it's single loss elimination. If you lose game 1, you're done. You don't play rounds 2 and 3. There is no round 2 and 3. You're done. But you can go back to the desk, throw down another $20. They hand you 3 more packs. You go sit down in another pod of 8, draft again. And instead of playing one tournament, you can play 3 or 4 or 5, and you walk away with 200, 250 cards instead of just, well, I spent $25. I'm here until midnight. I lost game 1. That sucks. That's awful. Nobody wants that. So this is going to allow us to play more games faster.
Yep. Then the other change that they're making is something that I've been waiting for. They're making a change to the card list. They're allowing you to see which cards are missing and where to get them. They're not specifically saying what card it is, but they're kind of showing it like the
it drops in this dungeon, or you get it from this pack.
Exactly.
26 to go, baby.
So that's a nice
I'm
change.
so stoked. It's gonna be so much easier to find everything.
It's going to be actually very much like the fishing log.
Yeah.
6 to go, baby. I have problems.
No, you play the weird parts of the game. That's all. I mean,
Dude, I was in a conga line and a chocobo race yesterday.
Ooh.
Not the kind that the actual game enforces, just here's the loop around the housing area. Everybody line up next to the gate. Like, it was... I also do weird parts of the game.
no,
I mean,
I
does
understand.
anyone not do something that's a weird part of the game? That just kind of feels like people.
Yeah. Everybody's got stuff that they enjoy. There were some Mahjong changes as well. They're adding quick matches, and they're making some UI updates.
Oh, I do want to note on Triple Triad, although it was a brief thing at the beginning, they also changed the way the timer works from 30 seconds per turn to 90 seconds for the entirety of a match. And with each play, you get an extra 5 seconds.
I like that.
Yeah, so that should help keep things moving, especially if you end up with someone who, say, like, has realized they're losing and decides to just spitefully draw it out.
Okay. Yeah, that'll speed up gameplay.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, Mahjong ones. So lots more fun at the Gold Saucer. I had participated in a few tournaments and just ended up feeling like such a huge burden of stuff to do. So I am looking forward to this faster tournament format.
Yes. Some other stuff that's being added. New treasure maps. They're adding the shifting oubliettes of Ligria. I don't know if that's I don't know how that's pronounced.
Ligia. I am probably mispronouncing that as well, but that's the big castle in Ilmeg.
Yep. But it's basically we're getting the roulettes for Shadowbringers maps. Those are fun.
The shifting altars.
Yep.
Dude, shifting altars was awesome. I'm glad that we get it again for level 80.
Yes, those were a lot of fun.
We should do some maps. I can't remember the last time I did maps, and I kind of want to do some.
Yeah, I haven't done maps in ages. I think I've only done the new or the current maps. Maybe
I have not done the current maps once.
3 times, I think. I still have a bunch of old maps, like level 70 maps.
Later too. Spender and his brother like to low man them, so a 4th would probably make it so we could easily clear a lot of the stuff. I would be down.
That's true. New housing items, including some very nice display cases. So it's going to turn people from hoarders into collectors. Right, Sarah?
Yep.
Yes, I read your thing in Discord.
Yep, that is from the wisdom of Judge John Hodgman. The difference between a hoarder and a collector is a display case.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a whole bunch of collectors now.
Yeah. No, you take if you have your hoard, if you can take it, you can arrange it nicely. There's thoughtful curation. It becomes this purposeful thing rather than just grab what you can. That's what draws the line there.
Hey, Sarah, I have too many books. Do you want the ones I'm getting rid of?
How many books is too many books?
14.
We'll talk after.
That was more just to watch your soul fall out of your body.
There's ebooks are appropriate for certain classes of demographic who have access to.
All right.
I don't have any of those either.
They don't even take up space.
Watching is so fun.
There's an explorer mode being added to Shadowbringers dungeons. You can ride your mount through the Grand Cosmos. You can bring...
Honestly, I'm never gonna do the G pose that this is designed for. I'm definitely just going to ride a motorcycle through the dungeons just to say that I did.
You can bring your minion to the Hero's Gauntlet.
Yes.
It's actually gonna be kind of cool.
And they don't note that you can freely summon and dismiss striking dummies and execute limit breaks of any level at any time.
Yeah,
So
it's mainly for
a
G
lot of
posing
people-
and.
The main reason for placing the striking dummies would be to have a target for various abilities.
So here is my question, and I don't remember seeing this in when I went over things. Is there going to be a time limit to these?
It said it's the time limit of the selected duty.
Okay,
which
so
for
90
most duties
minutes.
is like 90 minutes.
So
That's so much time.
we still probably wouldn't be able to do a full podcast in one.
No.
There's a couple that might be options.
MSQ?
Right now, let me take a quick look.
All right, that's a future us problem, but that sounds
Yes.
awesome.
That's what my thought is if we could get in there and there wasn't necessarily the 90-minute time limit, we could potentially do shows from some of them, which would be kind of fun. Just different venues to entertain.
Coming at you live from the Heroes Gauntlet.
Yep.
Twinning. Do 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 do.
Maybe we can play it with a new perform action on violins.
Klaus, can you play violin? Like not in game, but like out of game?
No, I do not have a violin, and I have never played one.
Okay, because I know you play a bunch of stuff. So
I have played a number of instruments. I have played some stringed instruments, well, a guitar, but no violin.
all right.
The bulk advanced materia melding.
Oh yeah.
Praise the 12. I'm so done with spamming a button until it goes. Oh,
Hey, even that's
shit, it
better.
worked. Right on.
Even that's better than what it used to be. You have to go through the entire loop every time you failed.
Oh god, that was hell.
Yes.
I do love the screenshot that says advanced materia melding bulk. The 143 in your possession will be used. You are unable to attach it. 105 materia were lost in the process.
Salt. Welcome to Saltville, population us. That's still going to be so much easier to just be like,
It is.
I'm cramming this level 6 onto this pair of boots, and you can't stop me. 326 material. Okay, maybe you can stop me, you know?
Yeah.
But like, we'll get there finally.
Yep. But that'll be nice to load up gear, so you can make sure you're not spending. How long trying to get that fifth one on your crafting set?
Ugh.
I dead ass quit the game for a month and a half at one point because it took me so long to get something melded, and then patch notes came out the next day that were 2 weeks out for gear that was going to outclass everything, including my melds. And I was like, cool, I'm done. I'm done.
Well, at least now
But
you
yeah,
can take the
that'll be
ones that
nice.
successfully melded back out of your gear.
Yeah, that's also super good.
So you can
Everything,
lose
what, level 6 and
yeah,
lower?
So you can lose them putting them onto your new gear.
Hey, that's one more chance. That's higher than 0. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's
My
true.
stockpile hasn't run out yet.
That's true. I have
Yeah.
so many tier 4 crafting and gathering materials right now. It's not even funny. I think I have over 1,000 of a lot of them.
We have a ton at my old FC because we just sent out the airships because like, well, we got nothing else to get, so we just have like this massive collection of like level 3 and 4 materials that no one's ever gonna use.
Mine
Yeah,
mostly came
same.
from squadrons.
Oh god, yeah.
Mm.
So
Uh,
fish eyes is no longer required to catch fish, but instead will allow players to ignore time requirements for catching certain fish. I might actually finish that stupid quest I've been sitting on since 2.0.
Wait, do you still have the
Living
what was it
Legends.
called? Yeah, I still have that too.
Yep.
I knocked that one out.
Yeah,
Damn it.
because I'm Sarah and I am obsessed by fishing in Final Fantasy 14. I have 6
There's
left.
bits of lore in the fishing log. What do you want from me?
I have 6
Okay, so
fish
for those
left.
of you who are new-ish to the show, we adore Sarah, and that is why we are picking on him so much this episode.
I deserve it.
I just want to make sure everybody knows that we're all cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We give each other shit because we love each other.
It's true.
Also, I recognize just how mockable a lot of this stuff is. I know who I am. I get it.
Yeah, but no, it will be a nice thing to not have that, so I can actually be able to maybe catch some of those fish and not have to wait until a random Thursday on, and end up them missing it because I'm actually at work still. So
Yeah. I think there's some limits on what it applies for. I'm not sure about some of the big fish. There was something or another I saw that I was like, I'm not quite sure how it ends up applying here. So if it's and also they're just it's a minor change for fishing, but you know how you get that message about how the fish are wise to your presence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it always happens just after you've popped an ability or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You now get a warning message a little before you get to that point.
Good. Because that
So
point
you can
means
finish off your thing, the 500 GP you just spent.
instead of having to sit and wait for it to rebuild because you just popped it and then you need to, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Yep, because as soon as you stand up to try and move, all of your effects are gone. You know, they could just maybe let those effects stay in effect until they actually run out, so you could move.
It would be weird and tricky, and anyways.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
what it is.
updates and upgrades, and fishing is going to suck a little bit less.
Yep.
I'm down.
Yeah.
New.
They also changed up the stuff for botanists and miners and their collectability thing. It is a very different interface.
Mhm.
It is a single unified interface, which is a lot easier to work with. I'm going to have a lot easier time explaining this to people now.
Yep.
Anything's better than the mini games we played in 1.0.
Hey, you can still play those at the Gold Saucer.
I'm aware I have a lot of gold saucer points.
I can't do the finer minor, but I am great at Out on a Limb.
That's true. That one is much easier. New ocean fishing route is being added, and they're also putting in solo missions as well as some other adjustments, so you can still try and get those mounts and minions from the ocean fishing.
I still haven't finished that, and I feel actively bad about it.
You should, because even I have gotten those.
I know, right? Now, I know it sounds like I'm casting aspersions on you, Klaus, and I am.
Good. The final Ishgardian Restoration update will be added in patch 5.41. We'll be creating a... basically, it's going to be the victory lap kind of thing. We're making a... What's it called again? Words are hard right now.
I don't know. I just heard Ishgard. My brain turned off.
We're creating. Well, we're building something like a.
It's like a commercial district, was it?
No, it's basically what is being built is going to be based off of the crafting class that puts in the most effort on each server.
Come on, Restaurant Row.
That'll be really cool, actually.
It's like a giant commemorative building or something.
I saw some. Yeah, there's something about this. I'm checking the special site now because it was described a bit more there.
Yeah, I've heard some people talking about what it is, and they talked a bit about it in the 5.4 part 1 live letter.
So let's see. So on the special site, they describe it as the construction of a cultural district where nobleman and commoner, man and dragon alike might further enrich their lives through aesthetic pursuits.
And I think it gets capped off with this special building that's based off of what crafting type.
Yep, because it notes we already have the residential district and the markets. So now adding a little cultural thing to finish off the district.
Yep. You're going to have to continue working on your Skysteel tools in patch 5.45.
Ready to go.
Blue Mage level cap is being increased to 70 in patch 5.45.
I haven't checked the rate. Is Blue Mage actually like at least gaining ground on main level?
Well, it's 60. The current cap is 60.
Right.
And
mostly has the cap on Blue Mage been going up faster than the cap on general levels?
Yes, we've had 2 increases in the 5.x series.
Okay. I don't know if it'll ever be like keeping exact parity with.
No.
But it's nice that there's less of a lag.
Yeah,
Mine's
so it'll
still
be
level 32, and I feel bad about that.
Mine's 51. Where's yours at, Talaz?
For what?
Unlocked?
Blue Mage?
It's still locked?
So the Blue Mage is a limited job that
Have you unlocked
can
it?
be played in the Square Enix MMO
That's a
Final
no.
Fantasy 14.
So that's a no.
Are you reading off of fucking Wikipedia?
No, dude, I would have been way more confident sounding if I was reading that.
And then probably
Dude, I'm gonna be real. I don't even know how to. I think I have an entire cross hotbar full of spells now. Maybe I might still have sprint and teleport on my bar.
so you did unlock it.
I did. I do not like casting classes, dude.
But you get to throw fish.
Except I have all of those effects turned off because I'd like to not black out while I play the game.
But fish.
That seems very selfish of you.
Anyway,
Is what it is.
the last bit of information that we were given on this is the Final Fantasy XIV announcement showcase, which is basically going to be it's the makeup for the FanFest keynotes that we're not going to be getting.
Hey,
All 3 FanFests are canceled, yeah?
Yes.
yeah. If it makes you feel better, I can go designate a spot that you can camp out in line overnight.
On Friday, February 5th, 2021, starting at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, they will be going through and announcing a whole bunch of information on the newest upcoming expansion for Final Fantasy XIV. It's going to be a part of the 14-hour anniversary broadcast, which starts at 5 that day. So then there'll be a half an hour of introductions, jump right into the announcement showcase, and then there'll be a whole bunch of other fun stuff like Yoshi's Room and Mr. Atma rides the Bronco to find more crazy things. So, yeah. Please look forward to it.
Also, Yoshi P's room feels like it feels like a thing that would be in like some teen broadcast of like, now you get to come to my room and we're going to discuss the coolest trends and boys. Just me?
Yeah,
Just me.
just you, dude.
That's what it sounds like. I can't help that. Philistines, all of you.
I really need to label those.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit of Final Fantasy VII news that I came across. I thought this was quite interesting. For those of you over in Japan, there will be a Final Fantasy VII Remake-based Real-Infiltration game opening up on December 9th in Tokyo. It's basically like a really more in-depth version of an escape room that relies on stealth and infiltration.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying to get into a spot rather than out of a
Yes,
spot.
you are trying to you're going to help Cloud, Barrett, and the rest of Avalanche sneak into Mako Reactor 1 using tablet computers. And it looks like you can do it. You can do it as a trio for about $90. It looks like
For the three of you?
for the three of you.
That's not a bad price for this kind of thing. I did a lot of escape rooms in the world before, and it's like, no, that's actually not a bad price.
So if you're in Japan or able to get to Tokyo within the next, I don't know, month or so, I actually did go ahead and link the ticket page if you want to take a look at how much it runs and see if you
I
can.
actually do know someone there, so I'm going to go ahead and toss this at in.
I was gonna say, Ruby, Julia, do the thing.
I mean,
Please let me know how
That's
good it
why I
is.
threw it out there, because I know you guys know people over in Japan. So
Man, I want to go back to Eorzea Cafe so bad.
I just want to go somewhere that's not here.
Valid.
Can I sit in the hot water and not think about things for a while?
Sure.
I mean, I guess that's not Tokyo. Like, you have to get a bit outside for that.
No, you could definitely go to Tokyo. There's an awesome bathhouse in Ikebukuro.
God, see, this is one of those things I have a rant about. I want to go to bathhouses, but every time I look it up, I find like the gay kind and not the Japan kind.
Oh, well, that's what Google does. Anyway,
No,
I will
I
take
mean,
you to one. It'll be great.
Also, they mostly just have the not Japan kind around here.
Valid.
I would have to find.
It's closed down at the moment, but
I would have to go to one of the more private ones because of tattoos. So
I was gonna say the three of us would have to get like a private one because two of us at least I know I have ink.
yep.
I do not.
Okay, well, two of us then.
Yep. Which it's understandable, but it's still, there's a few places that are allowing them, but most places still are not.
How are they supposed to know that you're not Yakuza?
Well,
You could be that like a dragon people, and they don't know when you're going to class change and kick their asses.
well, one of us is 6'5", the other one has green hair. So
That's valid.
That just makes him sound more like an RPG protagonist.
That's my point.
I'm a light novel protagonist. Thank you very much.
Ugh.
Anyway, we actually got through that in a decent amount of time.
Yeah. Yay, summarizing.
Yeah. So
There's still a lot of other interesting stuff in there that would be that
Oh, absolutely.
is worth checking out and delving into, especially if you like to overanalyze a lot of those details. So give it a look.
Yeah, which is why we always try and provide links to you guys. And for those listening on the podcast, all the links will be listed in the show notes and the show liners accompanying the podcast on whatever podcast you're listening on. So there. I need to bring up the playlist for our discussion topic now.
Music times.
Yes. I don't know about you guys, but I have been listening to a lot of music lately. A lot of music.
It gets you through things.
A lot of lo-fi.
I am going to go grab myself a refreshing beverage and settle in for this segment.
All right.
Where's my bathrobe?
I forgot.
All right. So, we are continuing our playthrough of the Final Fantasy VII original soundtrack, disc 2 this week. Where's my copy? There it is. Again, want to thank finalfantasy.fandom.com for their amazing wiki. Very helpful in describing a lot of the songs, where they're all at, and providing the English titles so I can change them from the Japanese titles that I get from the discs.
There's a certain niceness to just be like, what is this one called? This one is called Gonen Mae no Ano Hi. And you're like, oh, for God's sake. Like, like, can we please just, oh, that's the title.
Yes.
Awesome.
But thanks to fandom, we know what both titles are.
We do.
So I can go ahead and start.
Let's do this.
With the main theme of Final Fantasy VII. Once you leave... Go ahead.
It's kind of got a pensive feel to it.
It does. Well, you got to remember that just outside of Midgar is a very strange and unknown land to everybody here. Except for maybe Red.
And they're not going for exploration or adventure. They're going because they're trying to chase down that man in black with the sword who fucked everything up.
Yes. And it's very mysterious outside. If I remember correctly, I want to say there's kind of like a fog just outside of...
I think you're thinking of 9.
You're thinking of 9.
No,
which
not
has
that,
covered
not that
mist.
fog, not mist. But isn't it like... Okay, just outside of Midgar, it's kind of deserty, right? And then it drags us into more of a grassland area where we go into. We end up having to try and avoid the.
So you head to Calm, and then after that you're going to, and then there's the swampland with the Midgar Solemn.
That's what I was thinking of. Is the giant snake? Isn't it kind of foggy there?
It's kind of like a little bit like rainy, stormy, like it's kind of a swampy, and especially in the cutscene, it's like an overcast area. That is right for that.
Yeah, see, and that's where maybe I thought some of that feeling was coming from, but
yeah.
But it's new to most of the people in your party, so there is going to be a little bit of tension involved there. So
yeah, people who have spent pretty much their entire life in the metropolises and in the cities,
and then they go outside for the very first time.
I mean, so Barrett started in a mining town. Cloud and Tifa were in Nibelheim. Aerith spent most of her life in Shinra facilities and the like. So
yeah, that's true. But you know, they also didn't really get out from their areas much, except for maybe to just go to Midgar.
Yeah.
So it is just a really nice song though, because there's a lot of different changes in the tone. Because right here it's going to build up and be a little bit more triumphant.
Yeah, part I guess is how long, because there's going to be stuff where it's like the early stuff you're going to hear a little more often, but then
Yep.
the longer you're spending on the world map, you're going to get to hear the later bits.
And doesn't this actually start up in different spots as you go through the game?
Yes.
It doesn't just start at the beginning every time.
I had
No,
forgotten-
because that gets old.
Yeah.
You hear the same, like, oh, it's the start of the X song. Whereas later you're like, oh no, the world is perpetually existing.
See, now we
even
have
when I'm not observing it.
A totally different version right here.
Yep.
It stepped it up a step, and just a totally different feel. And we get it. It's a 6.5 minute song. We're not going to play the entire thing.
No.
But
Yeah.
we wanted to give
Meaning-
enough to give the different feelings that you get on this world map music, which is very different from the other games. All right, let's move on to the next song. You kind of hear a little bit of some of the music, the feeling of the song we just heard in this song, On Our Way. This plays in a number of towns like Calm and Junon. It definitely has a town theme feel though.
Yeah. We are out of the big city. We are into like the countryside. It's a little bit calmer. It's a little slower.
Yeah, Calm is rather calm.
Yeah. I mean, Junon's still a big. Oh, but this is like the lower parts of Junon,
Mhm.
the fishing village.
Yep. And those of you watching this live at Twitch or watching the YouTube video, yes, I do have the remake playing behind me. Just for something a little bit different. I'm experimenting a little bit with having something, moving in the background to make things a little more visually intriguing.
It has impact.
Plus, it's Final Fantasy VII. A nice, relaxing town theme. Let's go ahead and move on. Usually when you go to a town, you go there to rest. Good night until
Sleep
tomorrow.
time.
That is the end song.
More of a jingle, really.
Yeah, just a very 10-second little ditty.
Yep.
And then the next song. On that day, 5 years ago. This plays on multiple occasions. Most notably
And you
during...
still got-
Go ahead.
You still got that underlying like but minor shifted a bit.
Yep. Like I said, this plays on multiple occasions, most notably during the Nibelheim incident flashbacks and Cloud and Tifa's night under the high wind before entering the northern cave.
Words aren't the only way to show someone what you're thinking, Klaus.
Yeah, music works too. But yeah, this is definitely something that evokes more of a sad or worrisome kind of mode. It's usually not a very happy thought that they're having when you hear this song.
Like the harp bits do take it into kind of like a little bit of reverie memory kind of thing. But then we return again to that kind of like pensive, thoughtful feel.
Exactly, like PyroCat said in the chat.
Oh. Yep.
Like, I think one of you has to say Jinx, and then the other one knows the other one a Coke or something. Is that how it goes?
Maybe?
When Pyro and I go to an onsen, we'll buy each other a ramune.
There you go. My other person doesn't really like ramen.
Yeah.
They're okay.
I mean, I'll drink it, but they just there's so many other things that I would rather have, like sake.
It kind of feels. It kind of feels like I'm drinking it because it fits the mood, which I'm okay with.
They're one of those things where I'll have one of them and then I'll go to the hard liquor. So
Yeah, Pyro also points out the thing that I would have was like, we've got the time delay going.
yes.
Like, can we really have a jinx when there's a 15-second lag?
Well, it could
Maybe.
be as little as 2 seconds, depending on. Anyway, moving on. Next song plays at the Chocobo Farm, and it's called Farm Boy. If you're working on getting your gold Chocobo, you're going to hear this song a lot. The next few songs are actually very strongly Chocobo related, so my favorite songs.
If it were using different instruments, it would definitely feel like a very pastoral piece. I guess this one feels a little more like kind of plucked banjo-y.
That's what you don't associate banjos and country?
I mean, country is different from pastoral, though. Like, pastoral is the type of thing you'd see, like, Legend of Zelda music. That's, like, very strongly pastoral. Like, the same root as pasture.
Yes, but, well, these are literal pastures.
It's true. But yeah, definitely a bit of that country feel to it, I guess, a bit more.
Yeah, they're going for the, you know, and what's a notable country music instrument but a banjo?
Yep.
I was gonna say, unless they want to do like blowing into a jug. That's the other country instrument that I think of. But
Or-
that's a whole extra level.
Or steel guitar?
Lisa, never stop in the middle of a hoedown.
That jug doesn't work very well for that.
The effort was great though.
I think we've got a wine bottle in the recycling.
Anyway,
It's fine.
we'll move on to the next song. Waltz de Chocobo.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3.
This plays when
Very good
chocobos
Chocobo
dance
rendition.
at the Chocobo Farm.
It is so random and gratuitous.
And yet,
It's very cute.
And then you get Chocomog materia.
Next Chocobo song. My favorite. Electric de Chocobo.
snowboarding de chocobo.
Yep, this plays during the snowboarding minigame.
It is a much more energetic take on the Chocobo theme.
Somebody put this song over SSX Tricky, and it works very, very, very well.
This also plays during battle encounters with the Chocobo.
I love that little opening.
Yep. It's Surfing Bird de Chocobo. That's what they should have called it. I mean, because that is definitely
Yeah, that was very, very 60s surfer style.
yes. But I think they would have gotten in trouble if they had called it Surfing Bird de Chocobo.
Probably, yeah.
Or they could have called it Surfing de Chocobo. It would be a surfing bird. And those of you who are fans, longtime fans of the podcast, will know that this was actually our intro music for the first few episodes.
Seriously?
Or a version
Yeah.
of this. Yeah,
Wow.
there's a 14 version of Electric de Chocobo.
I came into the to the show a little bit after that. Then
Yeah, I mean, Metal Chocobo has been our the theme for a very long time, but no, but I think the first.
I occasionally lobby for Crazy Chocobo, but that gets shot down pretty fast.
You want to ride my Chocobo? That one was a little aggressive.
Stand back, stand clear as he puts on a show. How cute yet fierce is he from hell. What is with those goddamn lyrics? But yes, so this was the battle encounters you'd have your chocobo and alongside enemies, and you had to be feeding them green to keep the chocobo calm while taking out the other enemies and not hitting the chocobo. So it was a little more involved to get your hands on one.
Yep, it was fun. Except then you're just about to kill the enemy and the chocobo still runs away.
Yep.
And you're like,
or you forget that you have like a counter summon materia on, and so it counters with Knights of the Round, which kills all the enemies and somehow doesn't kill the chocobo, who then attacks you back afterwards. What the hell are the chocobos made of?
This sounds very, very pointed, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Also, I think there were some cases where you might try to, because you could learn an enemy skill, a blue magic from the chocobos. Choco Buckle.
yeah, sometimes you had to do a little bit of it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next chocobo song. This is your writing music now.
Feels like a difference of like when you fight the boss and when you get the boss as a playable character in your party.
It's a little bit more chill, a little more relaxed.
Pyro was describing it sounding like a travel song.
Yep.
And yeah.
And it's called Cinco de Chocobo.
Like Cinco de Mayo, or? Not quite sure I understand the naming logic there.
Yeah, because it's only the 4th chocobo song. I don't know.
But yeah, it does have a kind of like, okay, we're bustling along. It's a little more relaxed than the others. But yeah, it does feel kind of road trippy.
But it has a lot of really different feeling bits in the middle of the song, though, versus any of the other chocobo themes that we've heard on any of the other games that we've played so far.
Yeah. There's a lot going on here.
But I do like the little the electric piano kind of do 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 kind of in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Little organ. And I'm trying to.
Oh yeah, and you have to have special materia equipped to even encounter the chocobos. That was a little weird.
All right, then once you're done playing with chocobos, we resume our search.
Now, you pretty much actually kind of needed a chocobo to get across that swamp without the
Yeah.
big guard fallen attacking you.
Yep. Though if you did it right, you could kill him.
Yeah, and learn another enemy skill.
Yes. But now we're in search of the man in black.
Now, the places where this plays are usually like kind of enclosed, either like literally like the mithril mine, or figuratively like some of the various forests.
The ancient forest, the sleeping forest.
Kind of places where like closed off from the outside world, heading to this. There's this mysterious feel to it. Almost mystical. Which, in a setting that's focused a lot on, hey, you have this high technology, you have these modern, even cyberpunky metropolises. So it's a little bit of a, hey, there's still this spirituality, this deep lore of the planet kind of running throughout.
Pyrocats dropping Princess Bride references in the chat.
More than one person is allowed to wear black, damn it.
Yeah, Johnny Cash, come on. That's obviously who they mean, right?
Clearly.
But this is definitely a dungeon sounding music. The different effects we're getting throughout the different parts of the song are also really...
I like the bell there because we're going to hear that bell again in one of our later tracks.
like the big standing chimes.
Yes, the chime bell type. Yeah, we're going to hear that in another track that I think is later tonight. Oh, it might not actually show up in tonight's thing. Yeah, not quite yet. So that'll be the next disc then. But it's something that does show up again in these kind of like ancient mystical locations.
All right, now we're kind of getting looped back a little bit towards the beginning, ready to loop around again. And our next track takes us to Fort Condor.
God, there were so many different mini games in FF7.
There were a ton. I only did the Fort Condor battles as much as I needed to get through them. You know, I didn't go back and like try and get them perfect or anything like that.
Yeah, one of my playthroughs of FF7, I did go back and check in all the time because it turned out that you could do Fort Condor pretty frequently after a lot of game things. So for those who don't know, Fort Condor was the site of a Mako reactor that also had a very large bird's nest atop it. So the residents of the area were attempting to protect it against Shinra incursion and protect the rare bird that was at the top of it. And so you had a little, I don't even know how to describe what sort of minigame it was, where you would place units of like rebel things, attack units, stone launchers, things like that.
It was like an RTS.
A little bit, yeah, it kind of was an RTS.
Just a very simplified RTS.
Yeah. And to just push back and defeat the Shinra forces that were coming up the mountain, whatever, to reach the fort.
And it also had a little bit of a feel of the Moogle minigame in 6, where you're trying to stop the Imperial from advancing in the cave.
Right. Because like when there did start to be an encounter between forces, it would draw your attention over to that. You could watch how it played out, set out some more things. You of course had limited resources to actually hire your units. Yeah, it really was an RTS, wasn't it? Like, kind of crude, especially given that they were making it fit in this complete other game. So it was like scaled down a bit, but yeah, it was an RTS.
I barely remember this.
Yeah, I guess I remember playing the game a couple of times, but like you had to do it so many times to get a materia or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
But still an interesting little song for the minigame.
Yeah. There ends up being at least one point where it's quasi-required when we got to the huge materia side quest later on. That Fort Condor was one of the sites where a huge materia was. And if you managed to clear that fight successfully, you would also receive the condor would pass away, but then the eggs in its nest would hatch. And as part of that, you would also receive a phoenix materia.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Nicely symbolic.
Yes. All right, and then the next song. Rufus's welcoming ceremony.
Company ship. God, I memorized those fucking lyrics. Those Englishy lyrics.
You did.
Another mini game. The marching mini game. Oh.
God, how many times did we fuck that one up?
A lot. This plays during Rufus's welcome ceremony, the marching mini game, and from there on after in Junon until part 2. It is kind of a nice little catchy tune, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It's very happy.
It's very military march. Yeah, yeah. You got your glorious dictator.
I mean, Rufus Shinra has just assumed control of the country. Not country, company.
Same
Shinra
thing.
is technically a corporation and not a country, though effectively. but has just assumed control, and so he wants to establish himself as a force to be reckoned with very quickly.
Was a farce to be reckoned with? What? Yeah, it's one of those that's gonna get stuck in your head.
Yep.
All right, moving on. It's hard to stand on both feet.
It's unclear if that's referring specifically to Red 13 or to everyone given the situation that they're in.
This is on
I
the
think
ship.
everyone,
Yeah.
just because boat.
Yeah, this is on the ship
Yeah.
from June on the Costa.
Yeah. After watching Rufus's arrival, picking up some details, they hear that Shinra as well has an interest in the Man in Black and has been pursuing them. So our crew decides to sneak aboard the boat. Which means pretty much everyone being disguised in sailor outfits. Red 13 walking around on two legs in a somewhat ungainly fashion. Barrett looking like the freaking Stay Puft Man.
Yeah. Yeah?
Oh my god, I wonder what that's gonna look like in the remake.
We'll find out in 2023.
Oh, that's gonna be glorious.
I mean, they've been staying true to a lot of the game already so far. I mean, Cloud and Drag was pretty amazing. So, you know, seeing
Oh,
the
yeah.
Stay Puft Barrett boy.
Like, I don't think they'll want to make it too goofy, but they're gonna at least have to pay some amount of homage to that. That reached
Yeah.
meme status before memes were a thing.
Just love the sound of this song. It brought a lot of the levity that we need, especially with what's coming up.
Yeah.
Our
Because
next song. Well,
After a bit of checking in on the boat,
yep, this is a Trail of Blood. It plays
Yeah.
in Shinra HQ after the party escapes from the cells and in the cave of the Gi under Cosmo Canyon.
I believe it also did play on the boat after we'd observed spied on Rufus, Shinra, and some of the others talking, and then noticed that a lot of the sailors are gone.
True. It's a very quiet song, so for those of you listening on the podcast, I apologize if it's... let's see if we can get a little bit more... There.
Something is clearly wrong here.
It's very
And-
atmospheric.
Yeah. And why are you going down that hallway alone? No, stay together. They're gonna get you, damn it. It's that kind of piece.
Can't you hear the swelling of the music? Don't go by yourself. Especially after telling me you were going to go home after this and get married.
I retire in 2 days.
Or being the young dumb teenagers who sneak off to have sex in a closet somewhere, you know they're going to be punished for that.
By death.
Cabin in the Woods is a great movie, by the way.
It is.
So much going on in this. Building up to...
Here we go.
Yes. Genova.
Yeah, the title is actually spelled out with dashes in between each letter, which
Yep.
always made me wonder.
Well, because that's
Just-
how it's written on the plaque in the game. It's Genova.
Got it.
I think there are even dots or dashes between each of the letters there, aren't there?
Might
Yes.
be. The calamity from the skies, as the ancients called it.
Some call it Mother.
Nope. That's creepy.
Yep.
Well, at least they didn't call it Mommy.
That's also creepy.
How How did you make it worse?
Nope.
So it's the mommy of darkness?
Nope. Nope. Stop right there.
It's Luna?
Stop right there.
Sorry, we made it full circle there.
May the circle be unbroken.
This is actually one of my favorite boss themes in Final Fantasy VII.
Mhm.
This is one of my favorite boss themes in Final Fantasy overall, and I hate this game. Like, this is just such a powerful soundtrack, though, that it just fits what it's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this plays during any of the fights against the different forms of Jenova. We had Jenova Birth, Jenova Death, even Jenova Synthesis, and you know, fighting up with Heletic Hojo as well. You know, Hojo just has a, for lack of a better term, he's basically got a scientific boner for Jenova.
Yep.
In the fight with Heletic Hojo, he's actually injected himself with Genova cells. So
Yep.
one of the Genova fights has a different theme for reasons, plot reasons at that point. But yeah, the actual Genova itself was a alien life form that crashed to Earth, or crashed to the planet. Crashed to the planet. The ancients found that it could seem to be able to read their thoughts, mimic their loved ones. It seems to have some type of parasitic existence where it infiltrates and then destroys the life on a planet it takes over it before seeding itself out to new ones.
Lovely.
So we've got some kind of strange alien from the skies that's a little bit reflected in that music.
Yep. And when fighting Jenova, you'll generally hear this song a lot too.
Cheating fire.
Continue. This is the game over theme. At least it's not 4 minutes like in Final Fantasy 1.
Oh, and there's that theme.
Well, because it goes right into the start screen. So it kind of pushes right into that and allows you to just kind of seamlessly go into your continue game.
Yeah, Genova fight is one of the first ones I remember that really steps it up in terms of difficulty.
Oh yeah, those are tough fights. But if we finally get through off the boat, and we make it to Costa del Sol.
I can get there right now. I've got it on teleport.
Wrong Costa.
I know.
Someone get me a pina colada.
And I said, no salt on the margarita. Either of you get the reference?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's not. This isn't Bossa Nova, is it?
Yeah, this would be
It might be.
This is Taiyo no Kaigan, Sun Coast.
Oh no, the music style of Bossa Nova.
Oh.
possibly.
It's a little bit of a breather after all the heavy stuff we just had dropped on us. The entire ship of slaughtered soldiers.
Pulls into port at a leisure destination.
Yep. There actually is a sequence where you get to run into Hojo on the beach, surrounded by beautiful women. Apparently, we're not the type to just gut him then and there. And he drops some mysterious comments, apparently expecting, like, he sees what the party's doing. Seems very intrigued by something he doesn't want to explain to us, and then decides to just drop us some information, musing about being curious what we'll do with it. Even in the midst of this little tropical paradise, he's got that science on the brain. He's running a little experiment and very curious how it's going to turn out.
All right. Once we're done with Costa del Sol, we make our way further into the game. And in North Corel, we hear this song. Mark of a Traitor.
Yeah, it's a homecoming for Barrett, but not exactly a happy one.
But this has a very, very different feel from anything we've heard so far. Because this is a very desolate and poor mining town, if I remember correctly.
It's also kind of like trying to make you sort of think in the past. Like, I don't quite know how to describe it, but it's just, we know this is a flashback, but all the information that we're getting is still in present time. But this particular like chord progression doesn't sound like you're listening to it now. It sounds like you would have listened to it before, and this was to remind you of it. It doesn't sound complete. It sounds like it's missing something.
Yeah.
But on purpose.
When we reach North Corel, it is pretty much a shanty town, like tents built around a disused mining track or rail track. We do find one of the things we find from Barrett is that Old Corel, which has been utterly destroyed, was a mining town that was to be the site of a Shinra Mako reactor, and that Barrett was actually one of the people who was instrumental in convincing the town to go along with it. So the town and Barrett himself view him as a traitor who's responsible for the destruction of it.
At which point he realizes the error of his ways of relying on Mako, and
I mean, that's one of the things that drives him into this full-on eco-terrorist.
They're destroying the world!
And it's like, that's a good motivation, that's great for recruiting, but the actual thing is I fucked up my hometown and I feel really bad about it.
Yep.
People are complex.
No way. All right, and then next bit. Now this actually plays during the flashbacks at Corel.
We've got that chime or bell or...
This is called Mining Town.
Corel itself, like so many other places, burned to the ground.
It's also a much simpler song.
If I knew more music theory, I could tell you what that progression is.
It just seems to fit, is all I can say. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It just seems to.
It's something that we hear mostly during those flashbacks and telling the story of it and all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not of a thing that we're in, it's a song of like reminiscence.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now the next song is going to be recognized by everybody.
Bit of a tone shift there.
But their next
Gill or no
destination, the Gold Saucer.
Oh man, this is another one that I'm wondering what it'll be like in the remake.
Oh, I can't wait for the Gold Saucer. And I like how this version is even more upbeat and happier than the one in 14.
Yeah. I think it is intended at the very least to contrast to the rest of the world. Here's this place that is just an escape from all that. An amusement park for the wealthy, actually built above the ruins of Old Corel.
I mean, how can you not like this song?
So energetic.
This is one of the songs for KupoCon. We actually do use it when we play Gill or No Gill,
Yeah.
and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You can definitely tell, like, who's kind of new to KupoCon. They're like, oh, I've heard this in 7. Why is there Monopoly money? Why is there a leaf blower? What is about to happen?
I can just point out the it's also like Gil possibly in build form. Does Gil ever come in build forms or just coins? It's just like raining down from the sky. I guess MGP vouchers. Because they use gold points as well. You can change your money into gold points.
Yep. Instead of, yeah, so you got Guild converted to GP, but not MGP.
Yeah, that's for the Manderville Gold Saucer.
Yes.
Manderville, man. Wait, what?
Wrong game.
It happens.
And now we have another character theme. If you could peek behind the couch, behind the bunny talas. There, perfect. Got a little, not the right Katshi, but a version of Katshi.
Riding atop a giant Moogle fortune-telling robot. This performer comes up to the party to insisting on giving them a reading. Attempts to give a fortune reading, has a couple very off-base ones, before spitting out one that is so strange that even it has no idea what it means, and so declares that it's going to come along with us to see how this all turns out. A little bit of a weird reason, but the entire character is weird. And so we have ourselves the fortune-telling robot Ketchi. It's got a little bit of a shifty feeling to it.
Well, Katshi has only Katshi's best intentions in mind, but
yeah.
I mean, even the mechanics of the limit break slots
Or dice.
but it's all luck based.
Yeah, we got someone who's a little bit of a sketchy character here. It's unclear what they're doing. They're acting kind of weird. Their entire nature is weird. But they just insinuate themselves in, and here we are. That'll turn out to have some great consequences later, and the actual truth behind Ketchi is deeply fascinating once you start delving into it. But for the moment, here's this weirdo who gave us a fortune we didn't really want and then declared it's going with us. What the hell?
What the hell indeed. What could possibly go wrong? Exactly, Pyrocats. I'll tell you what could go wrong. We go to Coral Prison. A desert wasteland.
Yes. I believe is it the Battle Square that we go to where this happens?
I don't remember. We do something that's drives the plot forward and we go here.
We show up on the scene where, again, a bunch of people have been slaughtered, and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Apparently, the Gold Saucer has its own private police force. And
Because of course it does.
We get sentenced down to live and die in Corel Prison, containing the burned out remains of the buildings of Corel.
Lots of interesting things happen here, though. But yeah, most times if you go to this place, you are there for life.
Which is not expected to be terribly long.
No. Like I said, there's a reason this is called Desert Wasteland.
Yeah, there is a bit of kind of like an old west spaghetti western feel to it, especially with that. It's not quite whistling, but what is it exactly?
I don't know. It sounds almost like a recorder or something. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting instruments used in the soundtrack.
Yeah. A lot of it's like kind of synthesizer-y, which again, given the whole cyberpunkish setting, makes sense.
Well, also the
It's
fact,
cyberpunky. It's 97.
and it's also a brand new technology. You know, CD-ROM based game using Yamaha synthesizers, and you know the PlayStation's own MIDI synthesizing capabilities. So they're gonna use all the tools at their disposal. Hey, I wonder what this one sounds like. Kind of a bummer song to end on, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a bummer situation that we're fishing out at. Like, they've just been falsely accused of murder, sentenced to the Corel prison, in a thing that doesn't involve any kind of due process, because that's not how things work here.
But yeah, this is the last song of Disc 2. We're left on a cliffhanger.
Will
Oh,
they
that
die?
terrible disappointment.
Who was responsible for killing all those people? Will they ever be able to clear their name?
Find out.
Find out
in 2
next
weeks.
time on Final Fantasy Z.
And it just kind of repeats. All right, well, let's. And as I said, Disc 2 complete.
I mean, granted, it's less of a bummer than the actual disc is going to end on.
True. Well, yeah, because we've got a lot of game left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, we're still on the first disc of the actual game. Part of that, of course, being that it's again a thing where a lot of the later game involves returning to or exploring further things that happen at various locations. So we're going to be hearing a lot of these tunes again.
But not in the soundtracks.
Yeah.
But we have 2 more discs worth of soundtrack places to listen to as well. I mean,
This is one of the longer soundtracks of the franchise.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's 4 discs. Final Fantasy VIII is 4 discs. 9, I want to say, is 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to start trying to source out copies of 9 and 10 as well now. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII. We're halfway through the soundtrack. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. We weren't sure how long this was all going to take, to be honest with you. We thought we'd be still talking about the live letter and patch notes maybe at this point, but
I am actually kind of okay with that because we have the thing where I believe tomorrow evening we're closing down. A couple friends asked if we wanted to do our yearly looking at Christmas lights tonight.
So yeah, that gives you plenty of time. Yeah, it's only 8:20 for you.
Yeah, because it's tonight or not at all.
Tonight it is then.
There you
Yep.
go.
Tomorrow night we close down.
Anything
And,
else?
even people from separate households are not allowed to be gathering outdoors starting tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's full on.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to be delivering pizza. So My
That's
life,
it.
unfortunately, doesn't change very much.
Yeah. California has been a bit more stringent on some of these, which is why we've been able to keep our rates a bit lower, but
Well, you also have a lot higher population density, so you have to be a bit more strict.
yeah. But
Everett
like,
has 130,000 people in the entire city. We're kind of okay.
yeah. San Jose has like 1 point something million.
Yet the
That's a
states
lot.
around me are the ones with the burgeoning exposure rates, and they're the ones with the least populations.
Yep.
Mm,
Yeah, there's all sorts of interesting stuff about the actual dynamics of this thing once you. The short version is that as you start getting to higher numbers that have it, smaller gatherings become more and more dangerous because it's more likely that you'll have at least one person. So it's where it was like, hey, the safe number for a gathering was 20 or less. That margin has dropped.
Yep.
And the higher the infection rate goes, the lower that safe margin goes. And that's why I did Thanksgiving watching DuckTales over Zoom with my parents, which turned out to be really nice.
that's awesome.
The new DuckTales is amazing.
It is.
And my dad has very fond memories of the old comics, so.
All right. Was there anything else you guys wanted to throw in then before we call it a night?
I mean, I could talk about the FFTCG, but like, hey, Opus 12 is out and we're not playing it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did see something that there was like a new collector's tin that was released recently for it.
Yeah, there's a new collector's tin. There's a new Opus as of a couple of weeks ago. It's the first one with the double colored cards, like I mentioned a couple episodes back with FanCred. Problem is that they've decided to cancel everything for 2020. So there's no World Championship. There's no National Championship. They're just like, we can't do this safely. We don't have the means to create a thing that would work in this amount of time. So they were going to reschedule the 2020 events for just early 2021. And we just have a super busy next year. But they're like, this isn't changing, and some countries are fine and some countries are not. So we're just not going to do this. We're just going to not have a 2020 anything. Sorry, dudes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we should be back in at some point. We will be back, and then we will have more FFTCG goodness.
Yeah.
But until then, everybody just please stay safe.
Yeah. There actually was something that a friend of the show, Kyle Spender, wrote that just before Thanksgiving that I'd like to share here that's related to some of this.
Please.
Sure.
All right, let me find it. He writes really well. It is one of the many reasons we are friends. This is a good year to try and remember why so many cultures have holidays around the harvest in midwinter. Some harvests we feast to celebrate, but not every year's harvest is a bountiful one. Most midwinter celebrations are about light and hope in the middle of darkness and hardship. I'm sad too that my family canceled our usual Thanksgiving, and even the Christmas we had been thinking about attempting via hardcore month-long quarantining. But instead of worrying about how imperfectly I'm able to replicate my family's traditions, and that feeling we all hope for this time of year, I'm trying to think about what these holidays might have meant to our ancestors, who were used to plague and famine and loss in a way we can scarcely imagine. Miracle is a bit of a loaded word, but whether you believe that miracles are sent from God or a combination of mortal hard work and a lot of luck, there are plenty of miracles out there this year. 90 to 95% effective vaccine candidates are certainly high on the list of the miracles I'm thankful for. And I know we spend a lot of time on here lamenting all the people who aren't wearing masks and social distancing and all that, but maybe spend a little time this holiday season thinking about the other side of that, of the millions of people who are making the choices we are, to wear masks and stay home and do everything they can think of to protect all these strangers they don't even know. You can call it basic human decency if you want, but I still think at some level this community we are part of is its own little miracle. I intend to spend this Thanksgiving appreciating the ways many of us have been able to find community, even if it's not perfect, while we're all stuck at home. I intend to spend this Christmas celebrating how far we've made it through this dark time and the hope we have for things getting better. And I wonder if this time next year, when we're hopefully back to the traditional celebrations, these holidays might mean something different to us than they did before. Speaking to like all of you guys who are one of the communities that we've been forming and really leaning on throughout this time. I'm really thankful to have you.
Absolutely.
It got all quiet. Did I give people feelings again?
You gave us the feelings we needed.
That's what I do.
The feelings of hope and thankfulness and just appreciation for what the things that we have instead of lamenting the things that we don't have.
Yeah. Miracle is a bit of a strong word, but it's a nice one to think about.
Yes, it's definitely about the perspective. Yeah, things can suck.
Mhm.
Things maybe haven't been the greatest for us, but
yeah,
remember where we're at. Remember the things that we do have. We have, you know, a lot of us have our health. We've been doing.
I love you. I love you guys. Klaus and Talus, our listeners. Oh, thank you, Pyro. Like, you guys are great. You're an important part of my life, and it's really nice to remember the community we have here.
Yes, most definitely.
Oh, and I think that's about all I've got for tonight.
I think that's a great spot to end that on. Talus, did you have anything you wanted to add in real quick?
Not really. And also, if I did, how do I follow that? So I'm good.
That's fair. That's very fair. So that will do it for this episode, everybody. If you liked what you heard, please make sure to like, subscribe, or follow us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, or whatever your preferred podcatcher is. And if possible, leave us a rating or review. It does help people find us and lets us know how we're doing. If you really dig the show, you can consider subscribing here at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio, where you will get access to a number of subscriber-only emotes and badges. Or you can go out to patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio, like our benevolent overlord Rory Fenrir, and support us that way as well. All proceeds go towards growing the show, cover things like hosting costs, help us do some giveaways, help us to buy cameras for people who forget to put them in places that you can use. And
I use it 6 hours a month. Thank you very much.
Fair. Great investment, by the way.
Saying.
But it does.
Clearly we should get you a GoPro and have you film your courier adventures.
I'm in.
I actually did think about, you know, when I was doing pizza delivery for a while, hooking up my phone and broadcasting from that. There have been people who Twitch stream doing that. So anyway, moving on. It helps us to do that fun stuff. But whatever kind of support, whether it's a subscription or a donation or just a simple like or retweet of something that we post out on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever social media out there, it's all helpful. I smile when I get a notification that we have a new like or something, or somebody retweeted something that we posted out there, especially something that we worked really hard on, and know that you guys are appreciating as well. Like, especially over the last month with the support for Extra Life. Like I said, I don't ask for a lot of things, but that's the one thing that I tried to build on this year, because I know that maybe I can't play games very well, but if I can get people together to raise some money to help some kids do better and get better, you know, the fact that we raised over $1,000 again just blows my mind. So thank you so much for all of that.
You generous fuckers.
Yeah, we love all of you guys, and we love interacting with all of you. If you want to catch our backlog of podcasts, as well as a few other interesting tidbits of information, you can go to our website, PhoenixDownRadio.com. If you have questions, comments, recommendations, things you want to see on the show, or just want to say hi, podcast@PhoenixDownRadio.com is our email address. You can hit us up on Twitter @PHXDNRadio. And we do have a Facebook group, facebook.com/PhoenixDownRadio. Go ahead and join us there and say hi. Shout outs. Who wants to start?
I call not it.
I mean, there's so many people in so many little ways, and just saying all the yada 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 feels kind of cheap, you know?
No, I hear you.
And yet.
Oh,
There are so many people out there that I am so happy for, that I maybe don't know your name, but I know you're listening. or I know that you hit a like on something. So
Yeah.
I do apologize that I don't know everybody.
I'll go ahead and I'll just choose one thing. Shout outs to Red Cloud, Obsidian Fire, and Tristan Nalo, who you may remember as one of our original hosts from way back, as folks that I've been playing Defu with and who I get to chat with about all of the new stuff that's coming up with strategies for the different fights. It's been a nice little thing to just take my mind off for a moment, and I really appreciate your being able to pretty much any time spend about 10 minutes just gushing over the latest thing we've seen for the upcoming changes of the Japanese version. Thank you. You can find me on Twitter at FF14Sayre. That's FFXIVSEYRR, where I occasionally post random pictures of stuff I've been cooking, or retweet something that happens to amuse me or whatnot. It's not exactly like a social media wellspring, but it's there.
And also he had cat pictures for a while.
Oh, yeah. We might start fostering cats again sometime soon. We're figuring out some stuff with that.
I'm sure the logistics on that is a little bit difficult right now too, huh?
A little bit, yeah. They have some stuff for it, but it's harder than it used to be. I also do have a really nice camera that I got to check out from the library, so the cat pictures tend to be pretty decent quality.
Nice.
And we all know that's why we're really on the internet, for cat pictures.
Cat pictures.
Cat pictures. All right, you're up now, Talus.
Oh man! All right. So, couple of damn it, a couple shout outs actually. One to my new parts and logistics specialist Chocobut, who I met at KupoCon, who's helping me get stuff in and out of Canada. Yes, that is her nickname. She is great.
Nice.
That was a great.
Shout outs to all of my amazing team members for Marvelous Motors. They're helping me get this hot mess off of the ground. Y'all know who you are. A bunch of you don't even listen. A bunch of you do. So, Alex, whenever you do get the podcast downloaded, hi, I haven't forgotten you. And Pyrocats as well, my awesome CFO, who has blessed us with the ability to take a business trip to Japan someday.
Does that extend to us who are the extended family of Marvelous Motors?
I mean, honestly, depending on how many cars I buy from Japan and have to drive from wherever they are to Yokohama, y'all might need some international permits, and I'll see you there. But that's a future us problem.
I'm down, man. I will drive my way out there and we'll go.
Nah, man, I'll fly you from where you're at, and then you have to. I'm just gonna fly you to Hokkaido, and then you have to drive a right-hand drive car all the way to Yokohama.
Oh darn!
In a country you've never been. Have fun.
Threaten me with a good time, why don't you?
Exactly. Also, shout outs to my KupoCon community. For those who didn't listen to a couple episodes ago, I actually transferred off of Hyperion, which is why my placeholder is now a bunny girl, because I thought it would be funny. My main character is actually now on Moogle, and we're having a really good time. It's an interesting mix of people. The quality of players and higher level content is very, let's go with different. But it's been a really good time, and it's been an awesome learning opportunity for all of us. Thank you to Klaus and Sarah for being super awesome friends during this weird, chaotic year. It's been nice to have these moments of levity and good people to help keep us grounded so that we can fly even higher.
Right.
Shout outs to my old AFK friends. Rest in pieces, AFK. Screw you for not paying your employees and embezzling funds. But I still don't like seeing businesses close due to things. So bummer, but also I have all the recipes, so DM me. You can find me on Instagram at Marvelous Tofu. I post pictures of cars and food and weird stuff. You can also email me at talas@phoenixdownradio.com, and I will respond to a lot of emails in the coming weeks, I hope.
Yeah, because I finally created his fucking forwarder.
Almost 2 years later.
Hey, at least I remembered to ask about it this time, so.
It's true. Also, almost 2 years. Holy crap.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And of course, I have to shout out to Talaz and Sarah. Thank you so much for being here and keeping this going with me. I know the last month has been difficult. I've basically been radio silent to most of it because of just things going on. So I want to thank you guys for dealing with me and still being here to keep this going on. Major shout out to Aurori for checking in on me when I haven't been, because I played this game. I would sign in on it daily, religiously, and I stopped. So she hit me up on Discord and asked, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just dealing with some personal things right now. And she was like, well, cool. If you need me, I'm here. And I missed you guys too, but I just
it's nice when someone notices.
It is. It really is. I mean, it made me feel good that, hey, somebody noticed that I wasn't there and that I wasn't doing the normal things. You may have noticed the streams have not featured me very much. It's been a lot of Fishy Cam. Why? Because Fishy Cam is awesome, for one. If you don't like Fishy Cam, fuck you. You're not welcome here anymore.
Tell us how you really feel.
But two, I've been featuring a lot of just relaxed, lo-fi, just chill music. And I think that that's what we need right now, is we need just the ability to sit back, take things in, and just reflect. And some of this music that I've been listening to has been really helpful for me on that, and I've wanted to share that with you guys. Shout out to Stream Beats, Harris Heller, for putting out that music, all royalty free. So Twitch ain't gonna be able to DMCA that on us, so we're good there. But to everybody who's tuned into those streams while I sit back and just kind of listen to it and just let it just flow. I don't really interact much on those streams. I'm just listening and just relaxing with everybody else. So thank you to everybody who's been sticking around with us over this tough time, the entirety of 2020. We've got one more stream or one more podcast for 2020. So we're kind of wrapping it up a little bit and hopefully moving on to something better in 2021. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you to everybody who's listening, who's still here, and I really do appreciate it. You can find me out on Twitter at PHXDN_KLAUSS. Tweeted pics of Red Boko. Yes, that's what I'm calling it, Red Boko.
I like it.
Doing Boko Loco?
No Boko Loco, but, well, just watch out for the meteors. Posted pictures of my Thanksgiving dinner. I actually cooked a turkey the Monday before Thanksgiving, and I ate basically a Thanksgiving dinner all week since I was on call that week and had to work that day. So it is what it is. But like I said, just having you guys all around has been very helpful to me, and being able to continue to do this and come back, after a month off, so to speak, it's been refreshing. So thank you. So for my crazy yet lovable co-hosts, Sarah and Talus, I am Santa Claus Nightbringer, wishing everybody a wonderful evening. Don't forget your friends and your family. And we love you all, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.